Hi guys, I'm Beck. I'm here to make science, technology, engineering, and math simple and exciting for young women. This week, I interview Nadeesha, a digital product owner. She works with engineers to build websites and applications. Nadeesha is one of my dearest friends. We met 2.5 years ago working on a multi-billion-dollar digital transformation project. She started off doing arts and computer science at university, then she moved into IT consulting at Accenture, then telecommunications and our transportation, where she looks after a mobile app that recorded 11 million sessions last year. In today's interview, we cover how she didn't want to get into tech when she was growing up, what changed her mind, how work experience helped her to decide what she wanted to do, and what advice she would give to her 20-year-old self. I hope you enjoy the chat as much as what I did. I hope you have a laugh along the way that I did, and enjoy. See ya.
So the background to that was, so my dad's been in IT, and growing up, I always said, I don't really want to go into IT, like that scenario, thinking about that. And I kind of ranged from wanting to be a doctor and like a surgeon, but that quickly stopped because I cannot stand needles or blood, which is future requirements to be a doctor. I'm the worst person to take to get injections or vaccinations.
But what? So then, why did you want to be a doctor if you don't like blood and needles? What was it that appealed?
I really like to help people. Like, I think I felt like I wanted to do something where I could actually help people.
Yeah.
And to me back then, you know, I didn't know that you could do other stuff. So it was just traditionally a doctor. So I thought, oh, I could help a lot of people if I become a doctor and just, you know, be able to, you know, save them or be able to find a cure for something. But just the fear that I had and the queasiness that I'd get, like I couldn't be in biology class and see stuff. Otherwise I'd be like running to the toilet. Yeah, like and so I knew that. And then I thought, okay, let me become a lawyer then, because that still could help people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was aiming for as well, which is why the arts part of it came in. Unfortunately, I didn't get the grades for it. But what I did do was I surprisingly did well in, back then, HSC was information technology. Like I actually got top 10% of the state. And when I went to uni, because I also really wanted to go to Macquarie Uni as well. Macquarie or New South Wales was my second preference. And when I went to the open day at Macquarie, the computer science area said, oh, we have a scholarship if you'd like to apply for that, and we think you'd be able to get it as a result. And I was like, oh yeah, why not? Because it would cover a large part of my uni fees, and also for me, Beck, it was about wanting to go into the workforce. Like I've never been much of a studier, and I do kind of regret that. Like I never enjoyed uni as much as I should have, because I just wanted to get through it and get into the workforce. Yeah. And part of that scholarship was the work experience aspect. So I was like, hell yes. The first year I hated it. I was actually going to change because it was heavily about coding, and I was terrible. I would be reading C++ books, and just to even get the hello world code up, it was just a nightmare. And I was like, I don't like this. I don't see myself as being a coder. Like everything that I'd imagined it to be kind of came to the front of it. And I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to survive this. But then in the second year, when more kind of management and commerce related topics started to come into the course, and I started to do work experience, that's when I kind of changed my mindset and was like, yeah, I think I may not be able to do the really technical stuff, but I can definitely grasp the broader ideas and, you know, how to deliver it and how to come up with an idea and, you know, really rally the team around to help you achieve that, rather than it being idea code myself, because I knew I would never be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there a particular moment where you were like, hey, I think I want to do IT now? Like, was it a specific moment, or was it gradual over time?
I think it was, for me, it was gradual over time. At the point of my second year, I got like a part-time work experience gig at a law firm, and I started to work there, which was a dream, because for me, like I said, I just wanted, even from school, I'm like, I need to get into the workforce somehow. Like, I'll do anything to get into the workforce. And so it was such a dream to be there, starting to earn a decent pay. That wasn't just because prior to that I was doing casual jobs at Kmart and things like that. So it was quite a decent pay and like a regular pay. And I also then started to feel like, I keep my stride. There was things like, the first role was an IT administrator. So you're basically doing all of the admin sort of things, but I felt like I started to find my path in being able to deliver stuff, coordinate things really well. And I started to, get recognized at work as well for it. So that's when I thought, yeah, I can see myself having a project management or a delivery track in this work, in this area. So that's when I kind of thought, this is where I'm meant to be. Like I said, it wasn't really part of something that I wanted to do growing up. So it was a bit of let's turn left here instead of right and see if this path is the right.
Like, did you have to hustle at all to get placements?
Yeah, I did. I still remember I had to put a resume together, and I had like, oh my God, the work is
experience.
Yeah, I had zero experience apart from being a checkout person or a shelf stacker at Kmart. Like, those were the two things. And I had done volunteer as well. So I really, like, my resume, was really a page. And I know now when you're probably the same, like, you try to fit your career into a page, and it's a struggle. Like, everyone says, oh, HR reads a page, but back then I was so embarrassed because it was like, I felt like I had nothing to give. Like, all I had was, like I said, my casual job and any volunteer work or kind of school work experience that I'd done.
You did have to do a little bit of hustling. So you had to put together a CV with no experience. And I think it's also like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when we were doing all of this, it actually wasn't fashionable to have your resume all fit onto one page. Like,
yeah, I know, right?
In those days, it's like the more the merrier. Now it's like, no, you got one page and then people are going to switch off. So yeah, the fashion was definitely not for a one-page resume. People would have been like, wait, did the other pieces like fall off? Where is this it?
Yeah, because I do remember like Dad and I sitting down and trying to like beef up shelf stacking at Kmart, like trying to explain that role using most descriptive words and being like, I don't think you can extend that beyond that one sentence. Like, introduced efficiencies at like midnight by restocking shelves. The customers, like, it was just, yeah, like I cringe to see that resume. But you're right, like now it's everything in one page, and I wasn't picky at all. I went after anything and everything. Anyone that kind of said, hey, we've got something here, I'd be putting my resume forward for it. Because I was just so keen. And I remember Dad as well, and it's a piece of advice that I still carry with me. He's like, you're not so good that you can't do the basics. And by doing the basics, you'll start, people will start to appreciate, and you kind of take, people will start to appreciate your work ethic, and that's how you'll progress. And I think I just took that in, and I just remember kind of saying, I'll make coffees, I'll do the lunch runs, I'll, go around and, piece of paper, write down asset IDs, and that's the stuff that I did. But I was so happy to do it because it was a job. My biggest advice is, and even roles that I've not really wanted to do, or part of jobs where I've gone, really, I have to do that? Like, why are you asking me that? Like, I'm so much more experienced than that. Really have helped kind of me to learn new things. So my advice would be open to trying a lot of things, because you might think you'll be brilliant at doing this and that's where your skill set is. And but what you might also find is that by doing something or getting an opportunity that you didn't think, you know, you would fit in, or didn't think it'd be something that you want, you actually start doing well in that and you learn a lot. So that would be my thing. It's not to kind of set yourself into one area, it's get exposure to all, because that's how you start to find your footing and in your confidence and your voice in different situations.
And also people, like if you hadn't taken the chance, you know, we wouldn't have met. So
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
about understanding, like getting close to understanding like what you do and don't want to do for work, but also making sure you're meeting like really interesting people along the way.
100%. Although I have such little patience for mum and dad when it comes to tech. I can help any user use the app, but when it's like I don't understand, you just press this button.
Oh, like, have I ever told you about the time when my mum got her first mobile phone? So she got a mobile phone and she told us what the phone number was, and I called her. I was trying to call her all day. This must have been like 10 years ago. Calling her all day, she didn't answer, and I'm like, why get a mobile phone if you aren't going to? Anyway, so I get home that day and I said to her, like, I've been calling you all day. Why haven't you answered your phone? And she's like, you haven't called. And I'm like, I think I know how to call a mobile phone. I definitely called.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't obviously say that rudely. This was all me being hysterical in my head. And I said to her, no, I definitely called you. She's like, you didn't call. And she takes the phone off her belt, because she used to clip it on her belt, and she puts it on the kitchen table. She puts it on the kitchen table. She's like, call it. I'll show you. It didn't ring. And she calls it and it starts buzzing, like no sound, but just vibrations.
Yeah.
She looks at it and she goes, oh, is that what that was? She thought there was something happening with her stomach that was making her stomach vibrate like she didn't realize it was the phone. And I just remember having a moment of like, oh, I can't cope.
Oh, that's hilarious. I really like, there are days when it's challenging, but there are days when it's so rewarding. And I really love the freedom to give it a go. And it's okay if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And, you know, recently we've having some issues with our app on Apple, and yeah, some of the feedback's been a bit negative, but you know, as a team, we're coming together to work out how we go about solving it, how we improve it for the customer, and being okay that, okay, yeah, the last couple of releases we've had haven't gone as expected and generated some of these issues, but that's okay, like we can fix it. It feels like it really gives you the opportunity, because, you know, being in tech, people will think you don't get to be creative, but I feel like it does exercise that side. Like you could go in and, you know, put a button on the left-hand side of the screen and it, you know, you might get 10 people going, what the hell were you thinking? Why did you do that? But then, you know, other times you might do the simplest thing and it'd be okay. Digital is a big area. Like even for me coming into an infrastructure company, I, to be honest, thought, oh, okay, you know, digital is not going to be a big area, but it is. I was so surprised. It's such at the forefront of everything Transurban does and thinks about in terms of customer experience.
Hopefully you found that enjoyable. As always, I'm here if you have any questions about a career in science, technology, engineering or maths. So reach out anytime in the comments below or or via email or our Instagram account. See you next week.